All right, Jason Stanworth, Project 2, Exercise Science 4200, Mark, retake, Part 2, resubmission. We'll do better this time, I promise. All right, so we're going to start with the first couple bullet points, and then I will have my lovely wife here be Mark for our role play in the second half. So, on identifying all of Mark's medical conditions and or concerns Mark is living with, he has type 2 diabetes. He suffered severely from GERD, as well as constipation. Also, because of his forgetfulness and his family history, we have a concern for dementia and Alzheimer's. And also hypotension because of his unbalance when he walks. As well as he's 5'5", 150. That means his BMI is close to 25, which means he's overweight. So we need to get his weight back down into a safe range. So he's taking 2 medications. One is metformin, which is an oral diabetes medication to help control his blood sugar. It's extremely common with people with type 2 diabetes. The other one is Prevacid, pretty much overglorified Pepto-Bismol. It can help treat his stomach ulcers, the damaged esophagus, and acid reflux from GERD. And so then we'll jump into his modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors. Modifiable, things like his diet, exercise, and him avoiding risks, injuries, and things like that. I would also classify myself, I would put type 2 diabetes in that. Modifiable meaning he can control his diabetes. His diabetes does not have to control him through diet, nutrition, and exercise. And then non-modifiable, his gender being a male, his race being Latino, his age, and his family history. Those are things that are just completely out of his control. Next, we'll jump into the plan for Mark. So we'll have him jump in now. So, all right, Mark, we're gonna walk through your exercise plan. I know you reached out to us. Your physician also reached out to us that it was okay and safe for you to begin exercise. And so I'm going to go through a short plan I've made for you, things we need to change immediately, to things I want you to change, to things I want you to want yourself to change.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. So we're going to start with things, we'll start with the awkward discussion first. First and foremost being nutrition. You've made a comment that you love to cook traditional Latino meals. You love to be with your family.
I do.
Which is awesome. 100% support that. But I will tell you, your family will value you being around and living longer more than they will value cooking those traditional meals.
Okay.
That is harsh, and yeah, I know it is, but that's okay. We're gonna jump into that because it's gonna do a couple things for us. It's gonna help make exercise easier. It's gonna help make, speaking of which, just got my 10,000 steps. It'll help make controlling your type 2 diabetes better. It'll make your GERD symptoms less. It'll help ease your constipation, and overall just give you more energy. So pretty much everything you're living with that is like a negative and kind of pulling you down, we're gonna fix to the best of our abilities and get it to where you can live the best life that you possibly can. And most importantly, we're going to keep you safe. We don't want injuries. We don't want you to fall further than where you're at right now. We want you to increase physically. To be there for your niece, which you pointed out, is pretty much the biggest reason why you're here meeting with us.
Yeah.
So let me go through my notes right here real quickly. We're going to jump into your GERD and constipation. So I'm actually going to give you these lists at the end here so that you can take home to remember what's going on and so you can review them again, okay? So one thing we want to talk about foods you should avoid. Foods you should avoid. The list includes fried foods, fast food, pizza, potato chips, and other processed snacks, chili powder and pepper. I know those are going to be hard. Those are very traditional in your meals. Fatty meats such as bacon and sausage and cheese. Now, right now, that kind of
Can't live with that.
sounds like I'm
Not the cheese.
kicking her in the mouth, but I promise this is one of those things that I want you to want to do. And other things that can upset you on your more sensitive days, because I'm assuming you have days where it's really bad and days you feel like it's manageable. Could be like tomato-based sauces, citruses, chocolate, peppermint, or carbonated beverages. Like your Pepsi. Those are things we would kind of want to avoid. It'll help two factors. It'll help control the diabetes, and it will help with your GERD and constipation. Things we want you to eat. So you'll notice the things I want you to eat, I kept the list pretty vague when we get to it. High fiber foods, as well as watery foods. So when I say watery foods, I don't mean you need to be eating smoothies and drinking excessive amounts of liquids. I mean things like celery or watermelon, which when you bite into are full of a water base. To kind of help alleviate and manage things.
The traditional meals usually have quite a bit of black beans.
Black beans are good. They're high in fiber, high in protein. So that would be a good thing. A good thing to incorporate, as well as instead of doing like refried beans, a black bean alternative still allows you to cook similar to the way you want to, but choosing alternatives that are going to help you feel better, live longer, and manage your symptoms. So then that's kind of our nutrition diet part. I'll have a couple more things I'll give to you, as well as like recommended meals and portions of things. So now we'll jump into our exercise. And this is going to be the hardest part. It's going to sound like a lot, but remember, I'm giving you this at the end, and we'll go over quite a bit of it.
I don't
So,
remember what you told me.
and that's okay. We'll get there with the foods you should avoid to help manage. And again, I'll give you this list to help just reiterate and go over and over and over again, as well as I'm going to give this to your wife so she can crack the whip and help you remember what's going on. Okay? So the next part is your exercise. So exercise, you're going to be getting 150 minutes of exercise a week. Sounds like a lot, but we'll break it down into 5 to 6 days of 25 to 30 minute sessions, so daily, as well as we're going to do moderate intensity. So moderate intensity means we're going to get our heart rate up and elevated, but not so much we can't still talk and communicate.
Alright.
So I don't want you to kill yourself. Good plan?
Good.
All right. So this will consist of at least 2 to 3 days. Of those 5 days are going to be full body strength training, as well as 2 to 3 days are going to be balance and stretching. So you see really quickly our 5 days that we're going to be doing are filled up. Because if you do the minimum of those, that's 4 days. If you do the maximum, that's 6 days. And so we'll jump into that, as well as when you start exercising, you're going to notice that as you eat foods with a low glycemic index, like whole wheat and vegetables, non-tropical fruits, and high in protein, that it's going to help you manage your blood sugar levels, as well as it's going to be really important, really important for you, type 2 diabetes, to remain hydrated. This is going to help your body keep its balance with its insulin levels. As well as we're going to have you check your blood sugar regularly. I want you to check it before exercise, as well as several hours after. Because exercise is going to cause crazy things to happen. And so during that, we're going to notice that your levels, if you're around 100, which is the low end of your blood sugar count, you're going to need to eat something before you exercise, as well as you might need to eat something during your exercise. Now, if you're up around 240, that means you need to take insulin, give yourself an injection, take your pill, do whatever it is you do to manage it, to bring it back down before we exercise. because we want to be in that safe range. And it is going